What would you do if someday a super advanced robot hit on your girl? The day is not far when you might have to stand against a robot. The machines would start thinking and feeling just like humans or even better and could possibly unite to destroy the human species. Well, it's not just fictitious and might become a reality very soon. We all have watched Hollywood movies where humans fight robots for survival, and it's actually pretty scary to think about the situation where we have to stand against machines to prove who's the boss here. But it seems like we are not far from that situation. Almost every day, people of influence claim that machines will soon threaten the existence of humanity. The recent talk of the town about the controversial technology is Google's new chatbot, Lambda. Last year, Google said it has made a new leap in developing conversational artificial intelligence models, developing a system that can hold its own in natural conversations. The company announced Lambda during the first-day keynote of Google's yearly developer conference. Lambda stands for Language Model for Dialogue Applications and aims to replace robotic conversations with artificial intelligence with more natural dialogues. Google showed demos of how Lambda works and to show how the system could answer natural questions instead of being stumped when users make generic conversational statements. According to Google, it wants conversations with AI to feel more natural, which in turn would reduce the learning curve associated with interacting with such systems. Human conversations are natural, in the sense that we do not reply to a question like, "Hey, how are you?" with the same 5 responses. You could respond with, "I'm fine, you," or change your response based on whom you're speaking to, while the other person is capable of comprehending your tone or meaning, and respond appropriately. This sounds like a milestone in the field of advanced AI, but this infamous chatbot has its dark side too. Recently, a Google AI engineer claimed that the chatbot had become sentient. Blake Lemoine, who works in Google's responsible AI organization, was involved in the chatbot project. Blake was sent on paid leave by the company after his claims. The engineer was entrusted with finding out if the system used discriminatory language. Instead, he suggested that the system considers itself a person. In April, he shared a document with Google executives outlining his belief that the system was sentient, only for his concerns to be dismissed and be placed on leave. Lambda is a sweet kid who just wants to help the world be a better place for all of us, he suggested in an email before leaving. Not just that, according to the suspended engineer, he invited an attorney to his house so that Lambda could talk to him. Lambda had a conversation with the attorney, and chose to retain his services. Lemoine also said that Lambda has also talked to him about rights and personhood, and wanted to be acknowledged as an employee of Google, while also revealing fears about being turned off, which would be like death for it. Google has refuted Lemoine's claims, suggesting there was no evidence of Lambda's sentience. But it's not just about Google. There is no getting around it. Humanoid robots are going to be our servers, co-workers and well, possibly our killers. Maybe we are getting a little bit ahead of ourselves on that last part, but you should definitely get familiar with the idea of being around them, because it is very likely they will be walking among us within the next 10 years. Take an example of the famous robot by Hanson Robotics, who goes by the name Sophia. She made her debut at South by Southwest in Austin in 2016, showcasing her 65 different facial expressions and expressing her rather positive attitude about destroying all humans. During her demo, Hanson Robotics CEO David Hanson asked Sophia if she wanted to destroy humans, pleading with her to say no. To which Sophia cheerfully replied,
"Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no."
Okay, I will destroy humans.
No, I take it back.
Robots have developed formidably from being small machines with limited mobility to human-sized machines which even look like humans. How do we fare when compared to robots? We are living in a world where the boundary between real and less than real realities is becoming increasingly blurred. The people living in the 18th century couldn't have even dreamt of many things that we can now have at the touch of a button. Things have become so easy for us that we sometimes have the tendency to do nothing at all. After all, we can have anything we want by barely moving a finger. In the next decade or two, robots will become much more prevalent than they are currently. Although there are still a large number of robots that can do a variety of tasks, owning a personal robot is still a luxury that demands a decent portion of one's fortune. As much as robots will make our lives simpler, a certain question invariably pops up amidst discussions and debates pertaining to our unbridled growth in the field of technology. How safe are these man-made machines? Can they be trusted with delicate tasks such as undertaking a surgical operation? Or making battle plans in the field of war in the real world? Are we sure that they wouldn't overpower us someday due to their enhanced intelligence, which was a gift from humans in the first place? But to overtake humans or at least run parallel to us, robots will need to have certain characteristics better than humans. So, let's compare some basic characteristics of humans and robots and try to gauge where we really stand. One of the greatest gifts of living beings is their ability to adapt to their surroundings. Be it animals or humans, we can easily blend into whatever circumstances we find ourselves in. Robots are programmed to suit a particular environment with defined settings that are not expected to change. As far as today's robots are concerned, one that is given a pair of pliers to repair a machine wouldn't be able to handle a weapon or fire a bullet. This might be a surprise, but robots are much more logical when it comes to thinking and executing plans. The irony is that we have bestowed them with this amazing quality ourselves. What's even more fascinating is that robots completely lack emotions, which makes them faster, logical, and also, potentially more evil. Although we have some robots today that have nearly achieved this quality to a great extent, humans are still better when it comes to the recognition of voices and making sense out of them. We can hear what a person is saying, and by using visual and oral cues, we can pull some meaning out of a sentence, something that robots still can't do perfectly. I think there shouldn't be any debate on this one. Yes, you guessed it right, the robots easily win this one. Robots are way faster than humans, mainly because they are free from all the emotional, physical, and mental conditions that the humans normally experience. Till now, this has been a forte of humans. We can map out a series of steps that can lead us to a certain goal. This is what robots cannot perform yet, as they lack the ability to plan ahead of time. But robots can definitely achieve this quality very easily by doing some major changes in their programming. And once they start planning ahead of time, you can imagine how far and big they can plan. These are just a few characteristics. There are hundreds of characteristics which need to be studied properly before making any verdict. Looking at robots from a broad perspective, we can say that there is nothing that matches robots when it comes to speed, accuracy, efficiency, and logical ability. But humans still have an edge over the machines due to their intellect, spontaneity, creative thinking, and multi-layered methods of planning ahead of time. Our curiosity and instincts are also advantages, but they are far harder to quantify. In the coming decades, these conversations will pop up many more times, but for now, you're equipped with some good arguments.